Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Huey from NBT Systems. Today, we're going to talk to you about Vigil. Vigil is a threat intelligence and security posture tool developed by a company that I work with called Peloton Networks, right? Vigil provides three primary functions: AI threat briefings, security posture scoring, and continuous monitoring. So, in a minute, we'll go about why these three things are important, and we're going to jump in and take a look at what the product does. While the tool can handle any size business, it's primarily built for small to mid markets, right? 50 to 2,000 employees or seats that require enterprise grade security, but they don't have the budget to have a dedicated SOC. So you, as an IT manager or IT team, can use this as an alternative to having your own in-house SOC, right? Or your own threat team, right? If your CEO or CTO asks you what's your security posture today, right? What would you tell them? Do you have an answer, or do you have a tool that can actively show what your security posture is, right? So, in my opinion, cybersecurity today deserves the same exact budget as IT or development. But let's be real, right? Organizations simply don't have the budget for everything that they need or think they can rely on in-house IT to keep the lights on, as well as maintaining a cybersecurity posture or protection, right? So Peloton has created something to offset that, and we'll show you exactly what Vigil does and how it works. So why Vigil helps, right? So for the most part, most vendors are just sending you raw, known, exploited vulnerabilities, right? You keep getting tons and tons of email alerts about what vulnerabilities that they found, right? Let's face it, we're all too busy to sift through this. Here's Vigil. Here's where Vigil helps, or we will help you filter out this, tell you what's relevant, and match it up to what you have in place, right? Most posture tools are about filling out a questionnaire, but for Vigil, you can provide your configurations and it will analyze it the same way as an auditor will look at it, in addition to filling out the information where it's not represented in the configuration. So both options are provided for you, where you can do both to get that score, to show you that security posture score. So what do you get with Vigil? So we help with organizing threat briefings, like I mentioned before, right? You're going to receive a lot of threats, but how do you make use of that information, right? So threat briefings is part of the offering, a posture assessment tool, which will include the briefings, and then continuous monitoring will include everything on there: threat briefings, posture assessments, as well as continuous monitoring. So if you just need help with organizing your threats, we can help you do that, right? Determining what's relevant and not. If you want to see a full security score across the 7 domains that we provided, we can assess and provide that. So if you need continuous monitoring, we can customize it to all of your existing tools that you have, creating dashboards or what you need, or we can provide gaps to provide tools to determine where you see gaps today. Most importantly, right, you may have a security posture, but you may also have some sort of framework that you want to map to, right? So we can help you, based on the information provided, map your posture to the variety of frameworks there. So let's take a look at Vigil and see what it does in action. So the first things you do once you create your account on for Vigil, you get a 14-day free trial for a posture assessment. So once you create your account, it's going to ask you for some information: your email address, your domain, and then it's going to ask you for your configuration information. So what are you using for identity and access? What are you using for your network, endpoint, so on and so forth, as you can see here. So here are some of the things that you can do. You can either provide your config here, copy and paste it from your identity and access provider and paste it in there, and we'll assess it there, right? Or you can answer your questions, right? So this is a great way to determine some of the policies. Do you really know your policies? So if your CTO or whatever, whoever asks you, what's our minimum password length policy? Do you actually know? But now that information is here, and you actually can go check it and put it. If you don't have a password policy, then yeah, that's kind of a little red mark there, right? Are you using MFA, right? Something there, red flag there, right? If you're not using MFA, you should be using MFA, right? So things that you can do there. In some cases where identity and access is managed by a provider, you can select that also. But if you're not using identity and access, that could be also telling for your security posture also. So for my sample here, I've got a questionnaire where I know that I have MFA enforced across all users. My minimum password length is 12, and I've got a timeout where if you're not logged in or if you're not doing any activity after 15 minutes, it'll boot you out, right? So networking, I don't have any hosts on externally facing hosts. So that's managed by provider. I have a website that's managed by provider. So there's no firewall rules here. In the case that you do have some applications that's hosted externally, you can provide that configuration and have it had that information there, or you can just use the questionnaire also to account for it. So for me, it's managed by provider and so on and so forth, right? So if you're looking at endpoint here, I'm using endpoint management on all my endpoints. I've got disk encryption enforced on all of them. Um, so I know for that information there. So from a data protection standpoint, I'm using encryption at rest. I have TLS in control. I have data loss prevention in there. I know my RPO is 4 hours, and I know my RTO is 24 hours. So Sentry logging is enabled. So all these are here, are in here, and you can come back here anytime to adjust these and rerun the assessment to get your latest score. And so once you enter all that information, you have it, Vigil analyze it. It'll pop your score up in here, and you can see where your gaps are, right? My current posture, I've got a B, 80 out of 100. I'm addressing 4 out of the 7 domains because the other domains are either I don't have those using, or it's managed by my service provider. So a lot of information here from there. So this is what you will receive for the posture assessments, that middle tier. If you only wanted to receive your threat briefings, you would still fill out that questionnaire and you would get, it would generate a threat briefing here, matching all that information. You can download it for your CISO report. All that information here. You can view the briefing, and this talks about things you need to do, the alert, how you address it, recommending actions here for that information. From a compliance standpoint, it would tell you where your gaps are, what's clear and what's not assessed, and run through that. Now you have a framework that you can match it up against to see how you are actually assessed versus those compliance there. And then from a monitoring standpoint, here's where we're taking those threat briefings, putting it into this monitoring portion here. Now you can actually say and check these off, right? I've got 11 of them. I've got 17 new threats. 11 are critical. 17 active alerts. I can acknowledge, dismiss them, and run through there. So powerful tool there. Depending which level of service you want to provide, you can just receive those briefings, or most cases, most customers will choose the posture management to see what actually your score is. Now you can tell your CEO, CIO, or CTO, your C-suite that, yes, I have a security posture score. Here's what we've put in there here's what we have configured. Are we at a state where we need a full dedicated SOC? Probably not. I can maintain it. But as we increase our tools, maybe I do need to maintain that and need a SOC service, dedicated SOC to help me manage this, right? Maybe I need managed security services to help with endpoint detection, whatever you need there. This at least gives you a baseline of what you need, what your posture is, what you're lacking, what your gaps are. So a very powerful tool here. Very nice to have, at least to get a general score to maintain it. And you can maintain this as you go, as you add more products or remove products, or if you introduce new technology into it. We can help with assisting there to flush out those domains there. So that was Vigil in a nutshell. I encourage you to start a free trial. Go on there and try for yourself. Vigil.peloton.net. That will give you be able to create your account, enter your domain information, put in your configuration information, and provide your security assessment score. If you need any support in your IT or security needs, please feel free to contact me. I'm Rob at peloton.net. You can go onto the website also and book an appointment. So feel free, open to any feedback. Thank you for your time.